There is yet another element to the Sustainable Development Goals, and this is the concept of prosperity. This subsection describes how ICTs have come to the help of governments in addressing goals related to prosperity. These are goals 7 to 10 of the SDGs, which charge governments with the need to create inclusive, strong, and transformative economies. Prosperity as a pathway to sustainable development is reflected, as I said, in goals 7 to 10. Based on the premise that the world needs to ensure access to affordable clean energy, promote decent growth and economic activity, advance industry, innovation, infrastructure, and reduce inequalities. The focus I have placed in this module is on economic growth, and it is based on the premise that the key to prosperity lies in economic security, which in turn enables access to other social services such as education, health, equality, and participation. Economic security in turn is dependent upon access to economic resources. Therefore, the focus of this section is on inclusive finance and the role of digital financial inclusion. Financial inclusion refers to a state in which all working age adults, including those currently excluded from the financial system, have effective access to financial services of formal institutions such as savings, credit, payments, and insurance. Such financial inclusion, has three stages: access, transaction, and post-transaction. And each of these stages is important because ICTs have a very useful role to play. Let's look at access. Access to financial services requires that banking and financial institutions are available on the ground, close at hand, and readily accessible. And regulatory norms are critical for identification documentation and zero balance accounts for small savings to be deposited here. Let's look at some cases. In Papua New Guinea's nationwide microbank project, MyCash, which was launched with the clear objective of banking the unbanked, MyCash was initially marketed as a savings product, and the uptake within a few months from the launch was relatively high. In June 2012, 70% of MyCash customers were not previous customers of the nationwide bank. To date, women constitute 38% of MyCash customer base and tend to use it primarily for savings purposes. Combined with this, the nationwide microbank launched an extensive on-the-ground, face-to-face financial literacy initiative reaching women in homes, villages, and plantations. Bangladesh, India, and Pakistan have also introduced no-frills or zero-balance accounts. In June 2011, State Bank of Pakistan went a step further and replaced the requirement for biometric information for level 0 accounts which have lower balances by allowing agents to digitally capture photos of the client and her ID at her home, business, or local shop. So ICTs can be used as effective enablers for the provision of access and delivery of services. Once a zero or no frills account is established, government can then initiate fund transfers. The Chinese government now delivers subsidies to beneficiaries through bank accounts. Recipients can visit one of the 900,000 bank agents, such as mom and pop shops, and use their card to collect their funds through an electronic point of sale device. Once they have access, transaction is the next step. The actual act of financial transaction, which often entails going to a bank or financial institution to draw or deposit money, to borrow or make a payment can be simplified using digital solutions. Any number of e-wallets, mobile money platforms, and payment gateways currently exist worldwide. It is significant that many migrant workers working away from home use such mobile money platforms for remittances to their families from workplaces abroad. To transact on a digital platform, an individual needs to access to at least a feature phone, to have a minimum balance in the account, and to have a minimum level of digital literacy. There are also transaction costs. For each digital transaction, banks or third-party mobile wallet provider may charge a 1 to 2% fee. To address this problem, India's Unified Payment Interface, or UPI, had made transactions free of charge and has made the system account-to-account transaction, eliminating third parties. UPI is a payment system that allows money transfer between any two bank accounts by using a smart or feature phone. UPI allows the customer to pay directly from his or her account to a different merchants, both online and offline, without the trouble of typing in credit card details, bank codes, or net banking and wallet passwords. There are values in digital transactions. For government, the value of digital finance is that it brings more people into the formal economy, improves efficiency, increases accountability and transparency, reduces tax evasion by large and small enterprises and individuals, and provides vast amounts of financial data on which to base economic decisions. Governments can also use the information thus gathered through registration processes to build an effective database for policy making. For businesses, especially for finance, it brings in more service, more business, and enables the provision of a superior, customized, and personalized service, from banking to credit to insurance, improves efficiency of services, at the same time providing vast amounts of data. Financial and banking institutions can bundle services, combine savings, credit, and insurance to individualize customer service and experience. For small businesses, going digital helps to access larger markets, make supply chain management easy, and accounting easier, reducing the costs of doing business. However, it is important to note that for the poor, much remains to be done in terms of enabling financial literacy, financial education, financial capability, and digital literacy. Above all, to the poor who lack trust in formal systems, what is needed is the building of trust between the poor and the government and banking and financial institutions. To summarize, the key to prosperity in economic security, which in turn enables access to other social services such as education, health, equality, and participation. Economic security is dependent upon access to economic resources. Inclusive finance can be enabled and enhanced through the use of ICTs for access and transaction of financial services, by enabling digital identities and simplifying procedures through ICT-enabled outreach.